All right, welcome back, everyone. I just spent about 5 minutes staring at this camera setup, not knowing what to talk about once again. So I just turned this thing on, so we're beginning. We're starting now. It's officially started. So we're about 21 seconds in, and I gotta talk about stuff for another 9 minutes and 30 seconds. So I'm pretty excited about that, to be honest. Maybe I can practice saying a whole lot of nothing. Like the politicians, they're particularly good at saying a whole lot of nothing. And it's actually a skill. I'd say it's a skill, saying nothing, because if people aren't really paying attention to what you're saying, you can get away with saying nothing while making it look like you still are saying something. Um, I think I particularly noticed this as a child when I would, or I mean, when all of us were kids, I think, when there's like some people getting interviewed on the TV, and to you, you're like, oh, it's just an adult talking. But then your parents or maybe some adults around you will like laugh and being like, "Oh my God, they said nothing," and you're like, "What?" But they did say something. But actually, they didn't. They were saying a whole lot of nothing, and it's good for tricking people, I guess. I guess it's not a good thing in general. Maybe you can get, maybe if you get like captured by some pirates or by some bad actors, you can delay your execution by just telling a story about nothing. Or, you know, in movies where there's a villain and they're just the good guys are like stalling for time, so they're just like, saying some words, and then this guy's like sneaking up behind the villain with his baseball bat or something. That's basically what this skill is good for. Now, saying a whole lot of nothing when someone asks you a real question is a little easier because you have the whole question to like riff off of. Like you can just, do everything but answer the main question. However, in front of a camera here, when no one asks me anything, I just have to riff off of, I guess, my own thoughts. So I'm reaching an end here. I'm reaching an end. I have 7 minutes left. So I'm gonna have to not be done yet. Because if I were done right now, then my challenge wouldn't be as epic if I'm videotaping myself talking to a camera for 10 minutes every day, but a lot of it is filled with silence. That would not be a super cool video series, nor is this a cool video series, regardless. Um, but I can foresee that this is going to be an issue. Uh, not having anything to say. I mean, I do have things to say, but it's like, what is actually relevant for this channel? And I turned my camera on today, not having much to say because I figured, well, I guess this is what the practice is about. The practice is about just talking to a camera. Like, it's almost cheating if you have something to talk about. Like, maybe if I come up with something to talk about right now, well, I mean, I've been doing that for the past 4 minutes. That's okay. But if you have something that you do want to talk about and you come into this with that on your mind, it's going to make it a lot easier to talk about that thing because you know about that. But when you turn the camera on and you don't know what you're going to talk about, then that is like the real test, I guess. That's like the real, it's not to discount that if you have, because I had something to talk about the first time I turned the camera on. That was like premeditated, but this is not premeditated. This is I don't have anything to say, and then I was gonna capture this moment of me not having anything to say, so I just turned the camera on. But it's kind of annoying because I know that these videos aren't amazing, obviously, and it's not that they're I mean, they are low effort in the sense that I didn't think of anything to talk about in them, but they're high effort in the sense that, I had to turn this camera on and like say shit now. So now I'm just saying stuff. So it's pretty cool overall. I'd give it a solid 10 out of 10. I don't know what I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. I guess I'm giving the situation 100 out of a 100 or a 7 out of 7. You can split it however you want. 1 out of 1. However, I would not give it a 0 out of 0 because that can cause some mathematical errors, and I always add up. Everything I say adds up always. So I'm not gonna give this a 0 out of 0. That would be unjust. So I have 6 minutes, and I'm in 6 minutes and 30 seconds. And I'm going to talk to you about this Marshall speaker. Now, I usually have a square speaker at all times in my life up until age 14. And I had lost my old one at my roommate in college. I brought it over to his house, and he always has a bunch of people over, and they always leave stuff, and my stuff got mixed in with that stuff, and I never saw it again. I don't even remember what brand it was, but I got a new one on Amazon about three years ago, and the sound quality is pretty good. The bass, I really like bass. The bass is good, and it just says Marshall on it in like a really cool way. I mean, it's like cursive. It looks old. The first time I ever took note of anything Marshall related was this. I think G-Eazy was giving a tour of his house or something, and he had like a big or I don't know, something to do with G-Eazy, but he had a Marshall speaker, and I was like, oh, I've never seen that brand before, and it looks cool. And, a rich person has it, so it must be high quality. And that was the first time I encountered the Marshall speaker. And they also have these ones that you plug into the wall, and you can like turn up and down the bass, and it's like really big. And there's other dials as well. So if I were to move somewhere for an extended period of time, I might consider purchasing that Bluetooth speaker. However, it is not battery life. You have to plug it into the wall. But that's not a huge problem because most houses have out outlets on most walls. And in the worst case scenario, you can get an extension cable and actually plug your speaker into that extension cable and then grab the other end of the extension cable, the one that plugs into the wall, and then you can actually go over to your wall and then you can actually put this extension cable inside of your wall, and the electricity will travel from your wall all the way through the extension cable, all the way through the wire of the Bluetooth speaker, the Marshall Bluetooth speaker, and actually, power your Bluetooth speaker, which is, nobody talks about this. I mean, is it high tech? Ask a caveman. It is. It is high tech. And people are just getting really spoiled with their Bluetooth headphones and their mouse that has a back button on it. And we don't appreciate enough of these old, not old, I mean, it's high tech. No appreciation. So that's it, guys. Thank you.